Hey, what's up, everybody? Wednesday morning. Welcome to today's edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I'm your host, Chuck Fulkerson. Everybody had a phenomenal day yesterday as we saw the markets give us a pretty large sell-off Monday and into Tuesday. And we've kind of leveled off a bit, but we're still down a bit this morning in our markets. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor, click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get the alerts and the updates and all that fun stuff that we do. And if you're a regular returning viewer, make sure you hit the thumbs up icon. What we do every day is we look at four futures markets, the S&P, the NASDAQ, crude oil, and gold, looking for potential opportunities. Then we talk about a stock of the day. I don't really have a stock of the day today, primarily because there's just not a lot of great opportunities out there on this pullback. We've not pulled back enough into great buying zones, and our breakouts are just kind of still hovering around. So we're not going to add a new stock of the day today. We're just going to look at our major markets and potentially even dive into some currency markets today. So let's go ahead and get started with the big picture. So on the big picture today, starting with the S&P, now we can see that the S&P has just come, and the walls come tumbling down. And there were a couple of demand levels down here that just got blown right through, right? I mean, and when that happens, when you get this kind of a parabolic move, you're going to blow through some smaller time frame areas of demand. But that makes me look at the bigger picture. When I go to the 4-hour chart, we did see that there was a slowing of momentum. We had rallied to a new all-time high. And when I was with you on Monday morning, the markets were still here, right? Monday morning, we were looking at the markets. They were still right here. And so we had talked about that if you're going to go short, the NASDAQ was the market to actually go short. So when we were looking at the markets Monday morning, the markets were sitting right here. And we were talking about if you are more aggressive, and we're looking at the 15-minute chart, getting short below this line. So I know a lot of people wound up taking the breakdown and did very, very well on that move down. Now, we didn't anticipate the move down that we got, but you know, this is not a tremendously large move in the grand scheme of things, right? It's just a little bit of a pullback. It's just happened for a couple of days in a row, which freaks people out on the regular. So we'll see if we get a little bit more of a reversal today. If we do come up and we come up with, you know, a moderate pace that makes sense and it's not gangbusters, but it's a strong arrival, I think that this is our best little area in here. Now, is it a great time of day? Absolutely not. The time of the day is not great, but I'm looking over here to the left at all of this noise where we had crossed in and around this area, making it more of a fair price value zone. I want to take a real quick look. Let me pop off real quick to a volume profile. Okay, so our high volume node for yesterday was actually right around 41.38, which we've already reversed through that level. So I'm not really going to be able to utilize, unfortunately, my volume profile for much of great levels today. Now, we come back up to here. This is where our highest volume was on that breakdown that we had talked about a bit earlier. And all we're looking at here, by the way, is volume profile. And the purple represents the main volume area. That's the standard deviation away from the main volume area. The red represents our highest volume at a given price point during a given unit of time. And in this case, I'm looking at each individual day and the volume node for each individual day. We can look up here and see that there's really an absence of volume at that level that we identified. And so what does that absence of volume mean? Well, what it means is there just wasn't a lot of shares transacted. And that's because it's the very, very, very end of the day, and it's the Globex session. If I come up a bit higher, actually, so this makes me move this level by utilizing the volume profile. And so I'm going to move it up to here because this is the edge of my volume profile from a prior day, and it is it's a bit of a peak area here. It's a high node zone that I'm going to pay attention to. So that's why I'm going to move this is because it does give me a slightly better picture. Now I have to put it as a 15-minute chart when I do that. All right. Now, what about my demand below me? Well, let's take a look at our demand. Let me remove this study first. Taking a look at our demand on a 4-hour chart, I've got to see where's my next quality area of demand where we may see a turning point. Well, I don't have a super great demand area. Every demand area below me now needs to be a confirmation entry, even when I go to a daily chart. I mean, frankly, my best area of demand on a daily chart is down here at 39.50. That's my best daily demand area. But we're pretty far away from there. And if you notice, what we have in between now and there are mostly 15-minute small areas of demand. They're mostly small 15-minute zones that were created on the, as price was moving higher, and they're levels that never got retested. And so knowing that, understand that these levels are not going to be the best of levels and things that I'm going to want to necessarily lean on going forward. From a supply level, technically, if you want to get more aggressive, you can look for a breakdown below here, provided that we get some quality basing somewhere in that region, and then you can have a breakdown below that particular level. NASDAQ looks very similar in the NASDAQ 15-minute chart. From a supply standpoint, I'd look right about here, right at 13.5. As a reversal point. And then certainly I would also take a look at the origin of the move down, which was our breakdown trade that we talked about on Monday. Okay, so those are the supply areas that are closest and the ones that are most relevant. I would say that, much like we talked about the other day, if you're looking for a breakdown, the NASDAQ's a better breakdown candidate, right, basically below where we are. We have some demand below us, but with our downtrend, I don't know that that demand's going to stop price from falling. And you got to look on a 4-hour to say, where's our next quality demand? And it really comes into play right there. I'm going to remove some of these older lines just to clean up our chart. Okay. All right. Next, crude oil. Crude oil, we got a little move up into this 15-minute zone that we talked about and came super close to it a couple of times and then moved away from it. Now we are gaining a little bit more momentum back up. We do have some supply still here up above us. We've put in a little bit of a double bottoming pattern here on the 4-hour. And that double bottoming pattern would essentially give us a price target of here, right, which puts us right into supply. So we're just about there now, and that puts us right to that high at 67.98. So I think you're better off looking for areas of demand on quality pullbacks, if indeed that we get one. I'd have to find it on a smaller chart, 15-minute chart. There's a little tiny one here, actually. Itsy bitsy, teeny weeny, little short level that you might be able to find a trade opportunity in. Very small zone. Stop has to go below the pivot, obviously, but that could be a level worth identifying today as prices could continue to go higher. Now, speaking of crude oil, one of them from a swing trade perspective that's actually putting in an interesting pattern is USO. USO is probably the most common oil ETF out there that most people are utilizing. And you are getting a bit of a nice ascending triangle pattern. Could be a good one to take a look at if you want to acquire it, selling puts at a lower price, or some sort of a breakout condition. But I think that as oil is continuing to rally and we're seeing prices going higher, at the pumps, just keep this one in mind as a potential. Anyway, gold. So looking at gold, we had our confirmation long. Price hit our confirmation long, got a really nice move away. And now we're sitting below our breakout area again. So prices are still viable on a breakout here. But other than that, there's nothing else I want to add to the level today. Primarily because we've started to kind of stall out. Now I think that this sets up for a potential bull flag and another move higher. And I'm still sticking to my guns about the fact that I thought that we could see a pretty big move up in gold, and we talked about that ever since the double bottom that you see over here on the left. And we moved up about 100 points since that double bottom broke, and so there's certainly still room for price to continue to go from that next move up. So that's all I have for today, everybody. We have a live trade room tomorrow morning at tradersarmy.com. So if you're interested in joining tradersarmy.com, go to the website, use promo code TRADER60, get 60% off your first month. It would be great to have you in our live trade rooms. If you have any questions, please let me know. Till tomorrow, everybody, I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Hey, thanks for joining us. If you like what we do, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's the only way the computers know that you're actually alive and really care. And go to tradersarmy.com today to learn a bit more. And if you want to see some of our other videos, click here in the box.